What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got a pretty cool little review for you today of a pretty neat little knife, man. This one was sent to me by none other than the Pons. So thank you, Pons, for sending this one along, as well as many others. It's thanks to people like Pons that I can check out pretty cool knives, regular content, and all of that. So big shout out to you, Mr. Pons. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Today we have the Miscreant, the knives Miscreant. There's a maker's mark right there on the blade on the back. Pretty nice little Brad Zinker design, I believe it is. Yeah, Zinker. I got that right. Wow, look at that. Brad Zinker design. Kind of a minimalistic little gentleman's knife right there with a couple of, odd little things about it, obviously, with the speed holes and everything. So let's go ahead and do what we normally do. We'll go ahead and go from the tip of the blade to the end of the handle. You are looking at 7 inches, so what I would call maybe like a medium-sized knife. Overall blade length, I would call that 3 1/8, and then right there inside that sharpening choil, and I'll call that in between 2 3/4 and 2 7/8 on your cutting edge there. Go ahead and get the calipers out here. Do a blade stock thickness check. Thickest part of the spine, you're looking at 127 thousandths behind the edge right there on kind of like that belly area, 25 thousandths. And handle thickness on this one, you are looking at 368 thousandths. So fairly thin overall, like a thin profile, kind of disappears in your pocket type of vibe going on here. Let's go ahead and get out some size comparisons. We got the Demco knives 8020S. That's the full size Demco as far as length goes anyway, right? The USA made one. And there is your Demco knives 8020.5. That's the slicer variant. So you can see even the 8020.5 is a decent amount larger than the Miscreant. Get out the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and your Spyderco Para 3 right there. So even shorter than the Para 3. Couple of more here. We'll get out, let's see, do a couple American made classics. That is your Strider knives SNG and your Chris Reeve knives Unenzon right there next to the Miscreant. So definitely a smaller knife, not especially not what I would call super small. Probably should have had these. Probably should have had these other ones ready. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to dig out a couple of the smaller ones that I have here. Definitely should have had these ready for the video, but here we go anyway. Probably not even going to cut that. That is the Civivi in the same family right there, the Baby Banter, same company anyway. Civivi, the budget brand of so larger than the Baby Banter and larger than the Cold Steel Mini Tough Light. So not what I would call, like the Baby Banter to me is the definition of what I would call a like a small knife. So kind of right around the medium small border, I guess you want to say. A little bit smaller than the Ontario Rat 2 kind of size going on there. And got your DeWalt framing hammer and your 8-inch USA made crescent wrench right there. I got stuff falling all over the place here, guys. Sorry about that. I don't even think you can see that behind the scenes. Actually, a wire just fell right off of the camera view. And man, thank God that the camera doesn't see everything, right? So there's your DeWalt framing hammer and your 8-inch USA made crescent wrench compared to the knives Miscreant. Get the scale out here. See what kind of weight we got on this bad boy. I'm going to guess like 2.5 ounces, man. This thing feels incredibly light. Even though it's titanium, you do have obviously, some milling going on with those speed holes. 2.3, so even lighter than I thought. 2.3 ounces, under the ounce and inch ratio, which is pretty awesome. So an incredibly light knife. And get out the old faded blue jeans here. See what she's like in the pocket. The screws on the pocket clip are recessed, which is good, and it's a deep carry pocket clip. Looking at the other side, it's not mountable for lefty, so right-handed tip up only is the way to carry this one. Nice milled titanium pocket clip. works just fine. I've had no issues in and out of the pocket with this thing. And it kind of looks a little bit different with the, you know, kind of little extra speed holes and stuff that kind of cut in there. So that's kind of matching to what the knife is itself, I guess, right? All right, put the old faded blue jeans up. Let's do a hardware check here. I can get out my Torx driver, which seems to magnetically grab everything. So you got T8 on the pivot right there. Let's see, T8 on the T8, yeah, T8 on the body screws, and I'm pretty sure that everything else is T6, yeah, T6 on the pocket clip, and the lock bar over travel for the frame lock there, which, by the way, it is a frame lock, is T6 also. So wish they would have went T8 all the way around. Not the end of the world. Not really a terribly large amount of hardware at all. Does have that WE logo on that single-sided captive pivot. Pretty cool. This is what I would call like a straight back. So straight line from the handle to the spine of the blade. Pretty straightforward knife profile there. As far as ergonomics goes, it feels pretty good in hand. I mean, it feels really light. Feels pretty much like it looks, right? Like you got these speed holes here. Very, very light kind of feel to this one, but also pretty solid feel. There's no blade play at all. Left, down, upper, right. The centering on this one is perfect. As far as your action goes, whenever you clear that detent, which is, let's see, sitting kind of late right there, but you can kind of shake it shut. Definitely not a fall shut. You can kind of do like a little shake shut on it, which is kind of attributed to the lack of weight in the blade, right? So kind of a thin, slicey little guy, right? You got some jimping right there on your flipper tab, and that flipper tab is angled pretty perfect. Haven't really been able to fail this one. I'm sure I can. Yeah, there we go. I can, if I try. I can try. If I try, I can fail it, but just naturally pulling it out of pocket, flipping it like that, no issues whatsoever. So flipper action is just fine, which is good because that's the only means of deployment, right? You don't have like an opening hole, fuller, or anything like that. So for this small little kind of minimalistic type of vibe that they got going on here, I think the flipper tab only works just fine. Speed holes definitely function for weight relief. I like how they did kind of like that satin finish. Get it up there so you can kind of see it right there, but they got kind of like a satin polish around the outer edges, the outer rim of those speed holes, which is pretty cool. Nice milled titanium backspacer on it. Backspacer is always appreciated. Flat on the very bottom right there. You can actually, and that's one cool thing about it, I guess. You can set it like that. So pretty minimalistic knife. I maybe a little too big to be like a fifth pocket carry, but definitely kind of for the material. You got titanium. You've got 20 CV, CPM 20 CV, which is equivalent to M390. For the material and what you're getting, it definitely packs a punch as far as slicing this. This is one I think you could put it in your pocket, carry it every day for a while, and definitely cut rope, cut boxes, break down boxes, stuff like that. Not really have too many issues with it at all. It's just pretty much a straightforward, minimalistic, kind of like what it looks like knife, if that makes any sense. You got the maker's mark right there on the back. Brad Zinker, and that's his design. Nice stonewash on the blade. A little bit of a lack. It does have a sharpening choil right there, but I would think after like maybe one, maybe two sharpenings, that's gonna kind of blend into that choil area right there. You've got CPM 20 CV, which I like how they put that on the flipper tab instead of up here. They kind of minimalize. There, that word is again. They kind of minimalize the ink and everything, the billboarding, which is good. None at all on this side, so that's pretty cool. Overall, a pretty nice knife. Runs on bearings. The price on this one, these go for right now, looking at them on Blade HQ, $190. Titanium M390 and pretty solid made Wii knife. I don't think that's a bad deal, but you would probably have to be kind of into it, right? This is something you would have to be like a style, I guess you would have to be seeking out. Is it my style? Not really, but I can definitely respect it as being a pretty decent to good pocket knife. Absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the Wee Knives Miscreant. Thank you, Pon, so much for letting me borrow this knife. It's really cool. And you guys definitely make sure you thank Pons for being able to watch this mediocre review of a cool knife. Again, hope everybody has a good evening, morning, night, whatever time you're watching this. I really appreciate all my channel members, viewers, subscribers. Hit the like button if you like my content. Subscribe right down there. I would very much appreciate that if you want more of it. And hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all stay sharp.